Gold is currency, easier to say than to do. Now, however, a new platform that launched earlier in the month allows a gold investor to use her gold stored in a vault for savings and payment. BitGold. To discuss what it is, how it works, and the opportunity is Roy Sebag, President and CEO of BitGold. Started trading on the TSX Venture this morning. You rang the opening bells, XAU. I was surprised that that wasn't taken, actually, as a symbol.
Yeah. There was a company called AUX Ventures. They were bought out by Frontier Gold, so they paved the way for us to take over while gold's in its kind of period of troughing in US dollars.
It's an interesting interesting company. Let's talk about, people are familiar with Bitcoin, but let's talk about what BitGold is, what you're trying to do here.
Yeah, so BitGold is essentially an online platform that allows people to save and use gold for payments. So it doesn't use currency, it doesn't use money. It does everything that you could do with a PayPal with money, but allows you to do it with gold. So you can deposit into the platform, building a savings account. You can redeem either back to your bank account or your form of currency or in physical form, or you could actually send payments to people. So you can transfer the gold to people anywhere around the world. You can also, if you're a merchant, invoice your labor, your goods, your services, or your time and earn gold on the platform.
So our stocks reporter said a few minutes ago she doesn't get it. And I'm going to show a graph, and I tried to explain. I know you've explained this to me before. We're going to talk a little bit about the platform, but I have a graph here that looks at gold in Brazilian real, the yen, and I think the Argentine peso. I could have picked the ruble. So in these currencies, since 2011, the price of gold's dropped 36%, but the Argentine peso, it's actually up 36%. And so this is kind of the global opportunity.
Correct. So gold has essentially gained purchasing power against all currencies. One of the big issues with gold is that for the last decade, due to the ETF and the securitization of gold, gold has been adopted as a sort of an investment, and it's created this situation where people debate whether gold is a better investment than Apple or Google. And the truth is that gold should never be measured versus investments, it should be measured versus currencies. And when measured against currencies, it unequivocally gains purchasing power over a long period of time since its demonetization. Now, versus the USD, which is the world's reserve currency, it will naturally gain purchasing power less rapidly than it does versus other currencies. Now, if you look at the world today, since gold has peaked in USD at $1,800 or $1,900 an ounce 2011, it has gained purchasing power in currencies that are relevant to 3 billion people. So the Brazilian real, the Japanese yen. Even if you look at something like the euro over the last year, the euro's decline causing negative earnings in S&P. All these conglomerates even could have used gold in their corporate treasuries to just hedge some of this FX exposure. So what Josh and I found was this kind of unique opportunity. My co-founder, yeah, we found this unique opportunity a few years ago. We were wondering why there was not one financial service institution that decided to back its ledger by gold, just fully backed by gold. And if you go back 40 or 50 years, virtually every financial service institution was linked to gold in some way, shape, or form. You look at the world today, there's 20,000 financial service institutions, banks, broker-dealers. Not one has a link to gold. And you ask yourselves, why? Is it because gold has stopped functioning as a store of value? No. The charts, the math, the physics show that gold continues to achieve purchasing power. And we never even predicted the state of the world today. I checked my Bloomberg this morning. There's $6 trillion of debt trading at negative yield. What is a negative yielding bond when you really think about it? It's a hot potato.
Yeah.
You're betting that someone is going to pay more for it, whether it's a central bank or a counterparty. The big argument against gold has always been it doesn't yield anything. Well, we're now at the stage with this central bank experimentation where gold is essentially a better store of value than currency.
So why has it never been done before? And bring it to the platform that you have. So the technology exists today where it may not have existed before.
Exactly. It's a great point. So ever since banks stopped paying interest about 6 or 7 years ago, you've seen this massive disruption and ecosystem develop for fintech in Silicon Valley and other areas of the world, attacking banks' horizontal businesses, lending, payments, savings, loans, even wealth management is now being attacked by robo-advisors. And what all this has contributed to is this ability for a startup like ours to build a technology that would shorten gold's settlement cycle. So for hundreds of years, gold used to trade either OTC or in the case of the COMEX, there's electronic trading, settlement for price. But if you actually want to take delivery of the metal, your counterparties and your back office to get together and settle, it could take 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. What we were able to do was basically shorten the settlement cycle for gold down to as little as 10 minutes, and then make it thus compatible with the existing payment rails. So we're able to settle a gold transaction for a Visa debit at a Tim Hortons. We're able to settle a gold transaction that you send cross borders via wire transfer. We can do all that due to our patent pending technology, Aurum. And what we essentially did was we changed the way gold is traded.
And why is it patent pending?
Well, we filed the patent in October. We
Okay.
filed a bunch of patents around it now, so it takes about 18 months till a patent's published.
How do you get the name? Because first off, who are your competitors? It strikes me that there should be others who are smart and understand that technology can take us in different ways.
Gold is difficult. I think that the people that understood gold thus far have been gold bugs. And Josh and I never fully subscribed to the gold bug ideology. We do believe there's a social opportunity here as well. Like, for example, I was a portfolio manager. I never had over a 10% weighting in gold. What I believe is that as you go down the socioeconomic ladder, gold is more relevant to people. And if I take a piece of gold today and I look at it, I can't tell you what it's going to be worth today, tomorrow, a year, 100 years from now. Nobody can model gold. And I was trained to only view investments that I could calculate their intrinsic value. But what you can do with gold, there is a data set going back thousands of years, is you can calculate the costs in BTUs of energy, in grams of protein, in grams of grains. And why that's important is that for many people on planet Earth, their consumption is solely based on shelter, energy, and food. And so it's very important for them to have some type of a measurement system that could peg their labor and their time and their services towards something that they can extrapolate to the future. And you look at the world today, there's virtually nothing you can own today that you can bequeath to your grandchildren and that will have value. You can make a bet on Apple, you can make a bet on Google, but for every Apple and Google, there's a Lehman Brothers and a Kodak. You're making a bet on management.
I guess that's going to be the final point. You are now a publicly listed company. People are going to want to have metrics. They got to bank on you and your co-founder, but there's a lot of risks associated with that. How are you going to prove your point?
So for us, what we looked at is how to make the most impact. We could have built this as a high net worth product with marble columns and private banking-like relationships, but we chose to build it as a scalable internet platform. And as such, we're focused on user growth. We will be distributing 3 KPIs to the street. They will be users.
What's a KPI?
Key performance indicators. So users, every month we will be publishing our user count. We'll be publishing our cumulative transaction count in weights of gold. And lastly, we will be publishing our net deposits into the platform. We think that at the moment we don't yet know what this is. We've seen over 10,500 people sign up as of this morning. We've seen hundreds of thousands of dollars in deposits. We had a guy in the Netherlands last night deposit 15,000 euros on his credit card. A few seconds later, someone in China deposited some money. So it's definitely going viral. And I'd actually urge all the viewers to sign up right now. And we have a Golden Heart referral program whereby you can send a unique link where you get $10 for every person who signs up with that link, and they get $10.
Roy, we're going to have to leave it there.
Thank you very much for
Good
having
luck.
me. Thank you, Francis.
Roy Sebag, President and CEO of BitGold.